my dynamic duo, two favourites, Prue MacSween, Tina McQueen. Ladies, welcome. I'll start with you just quickly if I can, Tina. We'll get on to other issues, but that story I just had then with a bloke who owns a tyre shop on the Central Coast, this kid who lost his mum, who's got clearly a shocking background with his dad, been in and out of foster care. This is his new family. They can't find or couldn't find a harder worker. And just to say, we're here for you, mate, they've bought him a car. I mean, I just think that's fantastic.
Oh, unbelievable. Such a good news story for this time of year. We need more stories like that, Peter.
All right, let's start with power prices. Despite all the lies that renewables are cheap, our bills say otherwise, don't they? And we learned today too, the Victorian government, they have scrapped 3 concession scheme that help almost 300,000 Victorians keep the lights on. Now, Prue, this decision came from nowhere. We're only a couple of weeks out from Christmas. The Prime Minister still hasn't delivered on his promise to cut our power bill by $275 a year. I reckon that all these broken promises, particularly on cost of living, are part of the reason why he's on the nose, don't you?
100%. You know, all the numbnuts who bought the lie of $275. I mean, give me a break. I didn't understand why they were so excited by it, because our energy bills have gone up about 3 times. $275 wouldn't cut much off at all. But this whole myth about, you know, this renewables are going to save the world. We are heading for a huge crisis. If we think we're paying too much now, you just wait. And, you know, as far as the fools who voted for Andrews and bought his lies, sadly, it's all coming back to bite them on the backside.
I've got a word there from you for Kel, numbnuts. I do love that term. I use it myself. I've used it for many years. We'll get Kel Richards onto that one next year. Tina, you know more about what goes on behind back scenes of politics than most people do. So there's a report out this week of the Victorian Ombudsman, so the independent umpire, has a look into the issue of politicisation of the public service in the Andrews era and beyond, this whole culture of fear. The report comes out, it makes it clear that there is a culture of fear, that there's been a politicisation, that a whole lot of ministerial staff get government jobs that aren't even advertised, that there is no interview. Now, ordinarily, people like me who are in political roles never work in the public service. The public service are for people that are apolitical, not political warriors, but not if you Labor in Victoria. And this is why, basically, the state's going backwards, and I think it stinks.
Oh, it's terrible. They use them to pay people. They pay people for votes, to stack branches, a whole host of things. The Victorian especially, these positions are used as rewards. Quite often they're not even, capable of doing the role that they've been given. It's an absolute disgrace, and hopefully, with the light shone on it now, it'll stop.
Some of these jobs, I might add too, are hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when I was doing all the stuff on hotel quarantine, whistleblowers told me that there was, political hacks coming out of Andrew's office, put into jobs in the public service, and they never turned up. So they were basically, as Tina says, just being paid off. Yep. Let's go to those education global results in PISA for Australia. It says our teenagers are almost 2 academic years behind Australian kids who went through the education system in the early 2000s. We find out yesterday we've got almost 200,000 kids, Queensland, Victorian, ACT. They're going home 2 weeks early from school holidays. And then these reports today that deputy principals in New South Wales are going to have to get back to the classroom and pick up the chalk because of a chronic shortage in teachers. This is extraordinary. I mean, we've never spent more money on education to get such bad results. Prue.
This is a generation of test tube babies, guinea pigs, experiments by these inept public servants in the education department that have, drunk the woke Kool-Aid. And these poor kids are victims of an education that's just gone awry. They're not taught the basics. Every concentration is on paperwork to do with, have we done enough welcomes to country? Have we taught them enough about Indigenous heritage and the voice and gender identity? All this crap when what we should be focusing on is reading, writing and arithmetic, like we all learnt. So it's no wonder that they either have lost decent teachers, or the teachers are so tied up with all this paperwork to justify their existence and cover their backsides.
Peter, you remember who was onto this? Tony Abbott, early in his prime ministership, had a good look at Singapore, and had he remained prime minister, I know he was going to do a lot of things in education. So maybe something that's Dutton can get onto.
Hopefully.
Pick up again. Yeah, I agree. And I think we also have to be honest and have a conversation about teachers. I mean, there are excellent teachers, fantastic teachers. I wouldn't be where I am without good teachers. But some of the good teachers are also forced out by some of the time servers, the union hacks, those that have got sort of a left-wing agenda to push. And so I think we've got to take on the unions and deal with the issues of the teachers that we don't want teaching our kids.
Well, Peter,
Let's go to
I
your
remember my teachers had supervisors. The teachers were supervised to make sure they were teaching correctly and capable of teaching well.
Right, stay with you if I can, Tina. This report out from your party president in New South Wales, a former MP who lost his seat to a Teal, Jason Falinski. He says the party needs to reform. He's got 8 so-called principles. He says it'll fix the party. Please tell me this is about more power to the rank and file and not much more power at all to the factional power brokers. In fact, taking power off the factional power brokers. Give me some hope, Tina.
Yeah, that's the key. I think you've got to move the power from the factional power brokers. The members want to say, Peter, they do want to say, I don't know how many times we've tried to reform the party, but the Constitution is far too big, too long, too complicated. I think the intention is good. It concerns me that already there's leaks out, so there's people in trying to destroy the system before it even starts. But I'll forever hold out hope for the party, Peter, and continue to fight to reform it, to give the members a decent say.
I know you will, Tina McQueen. Let's stay. Let's go to the UX, actually, if I can, Prue. The Republican presidential candidates have had the series of Republican-only debates. Next year, of course, we'll get the debates between the Democratic candidate and the Republican candidate when certainly they've been chosen. You've got Chris Christie, who's going backwards at a rate of knots. You've got Nikki Haley, formerly at the UN, Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy, who is Swami. This all happened in Alabama. Donald Trump wasn't there. What do you think, Prue? What did you think of it all?
They're all pretenders. Look, Trump's going to walk it in, and I'm glad he is, because we need someone. He was asked if he was going to be a dictator. I hope he is. I hope he comes in, cleans up the joint, cleans out all the scumbags who are in there, and gets the joint running again. There's no respect for America. That's why China's so empowered. They need someone with balls who's going to get in there and fix the joint, because at the moment, the whole world's looking at them and thinking, what a bunch of poor things.
Prue's on fire. Numbnuts, scumbags and balls. Great night.
It's very nice and Christian for Christmas, isn't it?
My mother, ladies, my mother will be on the phone. I have to tell her right now, numbnuts is not a swear word. We don't know about the other one. Just quickly, Tina, you're close to the Trump camp.
Yep.
Is he going to win?
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, he's still supremely confident. He's doing very well in the polls, and his supporters are hardline supporters. They're not going to give up on him. No matter what happens to him, they're going to stick to him like glue, Peter.
All right, my favourite two, Prue and Tina. Merry Christmas. Have a good break. Spend time with those you love, and I'll see you both next year.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, that's it for me. That's a wrap. Credlin over for 2023. Back, as I said, on the 15th of January. Look forward to your company then. Still at 6 o'clock. Nothing much is going to change, but the news will. Let's hope the politics does too. And the Lodge in Canberra.